everybody. Welcome back to Orchard Gardens Farm. I'm Claire, I'm the farm director out here, and today we are finally planting our tomatoes. So the number one thing you need to know is what you should pinch off in order before you put it in the ground. I don't really like to have a lot of leaves dragging on the soil surface because that's a surefire way to introduce funguses and pathogens. I'm actually going to pinch off all of these bottom leaves like this, and then I'm also going to just pinch off this leaf that's really long and dangly, about halfway. I'm also going to pinch off any flowers because you don't really want the plant to be focusing on growing fruit when it first goes in the ground. What you want is for it to really be putting effort into growing leaves and extending its roots. If you already have your tomatoes in the ground, if they've been in for like 2 or 3 weeks at this point, I would probably leave flowers now. But if you put them in like a week or so ago and it has the flowers still that you put them in the ground with, or if they just barely sprouted new ones, I would actually still pull those off. One other thing you want to do before you plant or right after you plant is you see these tiny little things coming out at the V's of our branches. These are suckers, so I just pinch these off as well. When you have something in that's this large, you want to plant it pretty deep so that it doesn't just fall over immediately or get blown over. One thing to know about tomatoes is that they actually grow roots out of their stem. So we're gonna dig a decent hole, like 8 inches or so. Pull your plant out. These are pretty root bound. I don't actually break up my root bound plants because it can actually damage roots. Best thing to do is just stick it in the ground and let it do its thing. So this, I'm doing all the way down like that so you can see the soil surface is right here. And there you go. Pinch off that tip of that. So when you're watering in, you need to really hold the water on the plant for a long time and wait for a pool to form that isn't immediately soaking into the soil. The water that you're putting on the surface of the soil has to make it 8 to 10 inches down and be saturating those roots to prevent transplant shock. The other key to success is making sure that the pot that has your tomato in it, that soil and those roots are saturated before you put them in the ground. Clarifying point, we prune them down to just 1 or 2 leaders, meaning 1 or 2 main stems. That's why I tend to pinch off all of the little suckers. But if you're growing in a home garden and you have more space, generally it's a good idea to prune them down to 3 or 4. If they're a large vining tomato, that means that you wouldn't necessarily have to think about pruning off these suckers right away. You can wait till they're a little bigger to decide which ones you're going to keep and which ones you're going to take. Sometimes I forget that it's very different farming in a space like this than in a community garden, so.